All right, let's discuss now with political analyst Brian Sobel. Always good to have you, Brian. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Frank and Heather.
So what do you make of Newsom's comments? And is this just the beginning of a movement towards a wider base with a watchful eye on Washington, D.C.?
Absolutely. There's no accident that his first podcast he brings on Charlie Kirk, who's well known among Trump supporters, conservatives across the country. And this is the whole point of this thing, that he, yes, the governor has said, I want to talk with people across the aisle, people I disagree with. But the governor is looking at 2028 and a presidential run, and so he has to broaden the coalition, as it were. Otherwise, he is not going to resonate with people outside of very blue states.
So many Democrats, Brian, slamming Newsom's comments, including State Assembly member Scott Wiener. He issued a really lengthy statement today acknowledging Newsom's work, of course, as an LGBTQ+ advocate. Everyone knows that he defied federal law and issued those marriage licenses to same-sex couples. Wiener said that required courage, Brian. But he also said this is not one of those moments, meaning this is not one of those moments where he's being courageous. He says Charlie Kirk is a vile bigot. This is the Assembly member, the state senator Wiener, saying this, and standing with him on this issue is profoundly disturbing. So, Brian, should Newsom be concerned about this backlash from Democrats?
Well, not if he's concerned about drawing in voters from around the United States, Heather, because, again, you have a California reaction to these comments, but not across the United States. People in other states, more conservative states, first of all, would accept and agree with at least half of what Governor Newsom said, which was that there's unfairness in having male trans to women athletes competing against women. Now, Governor Newsom's got a long history in athletics, so he has an opinion on that. The part where he talks about these poor people, which I thought was a poor choice of words, because everybody's got dignity. Everybody is the same, at least they should be treated and otherwise. But I think what he was trying to say was we ought to have we ought to have great empathy for people who don't fit into the boxes that we have in our society. And so I think a lot of people across the country might take a little bit of issue with that in terms of, hey, we've heard it. There are males and there are females, and so in conservative states, the one part of his statement will play, the other part probably won't.
And Brian, do you think people are taking note across the country outside of the blue states, as you said, that perhaps the governor is heading in a more moderate direction?
Oh, clearly, he has to be more moderate. He has to accept that the Democrat Party has moved very far left, very progressive, and he has to find himself back towards the center if he's going to be a legitimate candidate for president, which very clearly that's the goal. But he's going to be out of office for 2 years, which is why, after finishing his term, which is why this podcast is very important, and reaching across the aisle and taking on these people that he fundamentally disagrees with. Don't forget, he was the one that went on Fox to debate, if you want to call it that, Ron DeSantis of Florida. So I think he sees value in going one-on-one with people who don't believe what he believes, because I think he believes that it shows folks across the country that he can not only debate the issues, but he's willing to debate the issues with anybody.
Yeah, but this movement, if you will, this shift in regards to trans athletes, we've been seeing him move more towards the middle on a variety of topics.
Yes.
And
absolutely,
talk a little bit about the motivation there.
Well, I think I can only ascribe motives based on what I'm seeing. He has his own reasons, I'm sure, but it's very clear to me that he is now beginning the position shift to be more national. And in many states in this country, he is a non-player. He's just a California leftist progressive, but he's going to need a lot of votes from those states that would write him off normally. And the only way you make that happen, Heather, is by starting to take a hard look at your positions and realizing that not everybody in the country thinks like people in California do. And he's got to expand that the whole view of the world and the view of America to start resonating with other people who are not just hard right conservatives, but people who kind of live in the middle.
And I would think after this past election, that's probably a pretty good wake-up call for him as well. Brian,
No question.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got to cut it there, Brian. Always appreciate your time, sir, and your insight.
Good to see you guys. We'll chat with you later.
Yeah.